Welcome everybody. Welcome back to the channel. How's everybody doing? If you're an Arsenal fan, you should be feeling great. Not so much if you're a Real Madrid fan. And I do understand. Clearly you guys lost and you didn't expect Arsenal to put a beaten breaks off you guys. You know what I'm saying? Aggregate 5-1, bro. Not expected at all. But here we are. In the background, we have Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli, the two difference makers today, and these guys definitely showed up. I was a bit tight at Saka earlier because Saka missed that penalty, man. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them things where if you try a Panenka and it comes off, you look like a genius. But if it doesn't work, you look like a complete idiot. And today he looked like a complete idiot doing that. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, I was very upset because it was 15 minutes into the game. And if he had scored that, game would have been over and done. So it's one of those where you look back and you're like, man, you should have put that game to bed early. Nevertheless, he scored in the second half. It was a beautiful, beautiful pass in by Mikel Merino, an excellent finish by Saka. And he did get a chance to chip it, and it actually worked. So hands off, hats off to Saka for getting that first goal for us. It was an exquisite finish, and it was well placed over and chipped over the keeper. In his interview, he said it too. He said he just saw him advancing, and it seemed like the best solution, and it actually worked. Again, excellent performance in the back. With the exception of the few mistakes that Saliba made, Kivior, yo, you guys remember how we were just talking about Kivior not being the one? Today he was the one. Today he was solid. I'm not going to lie. Endrick had got one and he took it on his chest, came down, and by the time he could get it down, Kivior started heading the ball. He headed it once, and the second header was back to the keeper. That was clean. That was smart. You know what I'm saying? He played a solid game today, and I gotta give him his respect because we used to crucify that dude, man, saying he's not good enough and whatever. But I think because we weren't playing him in his position, which was left center back, he's left-footed, and oftentimes he's playing the left back position. He's not that player. He's not a left back. You know what I'm saying? And Arteta is known to play players out of position. So he played in his position today and the game prior and a couple more games before this, and he looked all right, man. So I'm not worried about the defense moving forward. I'm not saying he's not going to have moments, but so far he's doing well. And I got to give him credit. So that's really a credit to Arteta also for trusting him, because a lot of people were saying put Ben White, but it worked out. Timber, okay today. Not one of his best games, in my opinion, but he was still solid. It was still okay. Same thing with Skelly. I wouldn't say it was his best game. He did give the ball away a couple times, but that's expected from Skelly in the way that he dribbles the ball. He carries the ball, and every ball carrier sometimes is going to lose the ball. Sometimes it's effective, sometimes you're going to lose it. But, you know, with maturity, with age, with experience, you know, he's going to get better at that. So I'm not going to beat him up too much over that, but he had an okay game, played his position well, defended well, you know what I'm saying? So solid performance by the back line, with the exception of that mistake that Saliba made. But again, simple errors can cost us. And if we had done something like that in the first half, it would have been a bigger problem. Thankfully, that hole that Rice made on Mbappe wasn't a penalty, and that didn't cost us. But in the second half, just a simple mistake between Raya and Saliba actually cost us a goal. But at that point, I wasn't worried. I knew Real Madrid wasn't coming back from 3 goals. That's simple. That's how I felt about it. They weren't going to come back from 3 goals. So I wasn't even worried about that. But overall, the midfield itself, with the exception of Odegaard in the first half, Odegaard really looked like he needed to go sit on the bench. He needed to just go home. Just when you get out, if they take you out the field, don't sit on the bench. Go down the tunnel, pack your stuff, and head back to London, bro. Like, I don't know first half, that's how I felt. Second half, he was better. Wasn't great, but he was better. It looked like he actually wanted to play. He was moving the ball around, making forward passes. Actually had a shot throughout the towards the end of the game with his right foot. He got something similar in the first half, and I'm like, yo, shoot. And he tried to flick it to Saka, and it was overcooked. Like, his passes was off. He was losing the ball a lot in the first half. But in the second half, I think he kind of regrouped, recomposed himself, and kind of got into the game more in the second half. But everyone else in the midfield looked great. Rice, Partey looked great in the midfield. You know, they were both Boston. Relatively. All right, so the game plan, right? The game plan wasn't to go out like, you know, attacking the way you did while you were at the Emirates. Obviously, you're in the Bernabeu, so you're going to be reserved. But the role they were playing, I think they played it very well, right? They were dropping deep, they were covering, they were breaking up play, moving the ball around, making forward passes and stuff like that, supporting your wingers when they're out of position. Like, they were doing that well. So that's why I'm saying that they had a great game, because they were playing their role. I don't think any Arsenal fan expected Arsenal to go out there full attacking. You know what I'm saying? So what they did was expected. We all expected that. You know, if you understand football, you would expect that that would be the game plan. And they executed that to the T, I feel, right? The wingers, exceptional. I felt like they were both good. You know what I'm saying? And that led to both of them getting their goals today. Beautiful run by Bukayo Saka and exquisite finish over Courtois. Just another chip, you know what I'm saying? So finally he got his chip, and he said it in the interview. He said it's one of them where you make that goal, you look like a genius, but if you don't, you look like a complete idiot. But he said he got it in the second half, so it worked. So they both played well, and I listen, I tip my hat to Saka. You know why? Because for a player to have an injury that he had, where the muscle was separated from the bone, and he was able to go through rehab and return 3-4 months later and give us a performance like this. I think he played 3 games. He came on in the Everton game, I think it was, scored. Then he played. Everton game. Then the first leg played well. I think it was 70%, but he did play well, because he was going down the line and was getting balls across and stuff like that, creating all kind of problems going down that line against Alaba. And in this game, he was better. So you could see his levels are going up with each game. And that's what I rate about Saka. Like, he steps up when you need him. He steps up in the big moments, and he gives you those performances. And good on Mikel Arteta for taking him out today, because at one point I was like, why are you taking him out? But then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yo, he's not even 100%. Like, he just came back. So it was good that Mikel was able to pull him out and kind of rest him. So good wing play from both wingers. Mikel Merino, also good game from Mikel Merino. Both goals, his passes, right? Through pass to Bukayo Saka finishes. True pass to Martinelli. Through pass to Martinelli finishes. You know what I mean? So he was relatively quiet, but he did play a role. And when he was called upon, he executed perfectly. So I think I'm going to give him credit for that, because the 2 goals was pretty much his assist. Raya, I mean, honestly, that one mistake I think could have cost us. Well, I'm not saying would have cost us. It did cost us a goal. But at that point, as I said, I don't think we were in any danger of losing that game. So overall, we look forward to PSG in the Emirates without Partey. However, Jorginho hopefully should be back, and we should be able to fix that midfield, and we overcome that first hurdle, and then we go to Paris, second leg, hopefully with the first leg already done. We getting the full 3 points in that leg, and then we go to the second leg and we just finish off the same way we did here. So we're looking forward to that. And hopefully we could just go all the way, man. I'm confident that we could go all the way in this competition, bro. You got to believe. You got to believe, bro. And I think we could do it. This might be our year. We just have to execute, bro. We have to execute properly. We have to execute professionally. And Arteta just has to do a job for us, man. Just put the right team out there, and the boys just have to do the rest. So I appreciate you. Appreciate everybody for joining me today. Fan cam match reaction. Smash that like, subscribe, comment, share. You know what I'm saying? Do your boy a solid. And I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you again, everybody. Thank you. And peace and bless. I'm out.